Today's the 6-year anniversary of Proteus Debate. This video has nothing to do with that. What I want to talk about today is being well liked in the debate community. And I'll start off by sort of just speaking to sort of my own experience as a competitor, as a coach, all that sort of stuff. But every so often, I'll have a student who is one of my community college students, and so they don't spend a ton of time on the national circuit debating. And maybe in their second year, or if they're just particularly excellent in their first year, they start being exposed to more of the national circuit crowd and those rounds and whatnot. They make friends with them. They talk to the coaches, and a few times over this sort of process of being a coach for the last 7, 8 years, students have come up to me and they've been like, "Hey, can we talk?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up? What's up, buddy?" And they'll say, "So, I was kind of talking to some people in the community, like people on the national circuit or like, judges and people who used to compete when you were a competitor, and I just I heard some things about you, and I just wanted to talk to you about it." And I'm always like, wonder what they heard. And invariably they're like, I'm like, "Well, what happened? What did they tell you?" And they go, "Well, people said you were like mean and that you were like an asshole." And invariably I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And it's not that that's like something I'm proud of now, but that's just a reality. That is 100% just a true thing about how I was for the majority of my career, quite frankly, right? It wasn't until sort of the back end of my junior year when I started feeling a lot more confident in my abilities, and definitely my senior year where things were really working with me in Dallas, that I wasn't sort of on edge in the way that I'd been in those first few years. And I've mentioned this on Proteus before, but the shortest version of this is I'm a first generation college student. I'm obviously a minority, and I identified debate once I got to college as like, oh my gosh, this is like the life-changing vehicle for me. Like, I'm going to get a scholarship to get a degree. Maybe I'll be able to go to grad school coaching, and then maybe I can be a professor and like have a good life and make money and whatever and all that sort of stuff. Cause my mom was a waitress. My dad was a bus driver. We didn't have like a high income or anything like that. And because of that, winning debates or being good at debate mattered a ton to me. And there's a lot of stupid things people say in debate, or they're jerks, or they're just like ignorant about things, or they talk about issues in a way that like they can't relate to because they come from sort of a position of privilege and they don't understand that these are realities for certain people in the room or whatever. And I just wasn't having that, right? And a big issue was that a lot of people will sort of like throw out a jab at you at like a 3 out of 10 or like a 5 out of 10 even. And I would just go to 10 every single time right away and just be like, cool, like we're just going to do this now. And like, go hard, make people feel upset, whatever. And, it was just a very defensive thing. It was somewhat ego driven, but more just like survival in my mind at the time. And because of that, I was just, wasn't the nicest person to debate. It wasn't super fun. And, my coaches would tell me at the time, hey, like we're hearing from a lot of judges that like you're doing really good, but that you're just a jerk or you're an asshole, right? I had my coach, who's now he's actually the chair of my department currently, tell me that he's like, "I think you're the only person in the country who would do worse at a debate that was judged by your own coaches." And I was like, "Oh, that's not a great sign." And it wasn't until I sort of really connected with Steve at Pacific, and Steve had sort of been through similar challenges and issues with other students in the past, and was able to just help me grow up a lot. Like, just frankly, my life before Steve Farias and after Steve Farias are two completely different lives. That dude like changed me, and Sasan as well, but like really Steve guided me through this process of sort of like being, I don't know, more emotionally intelligent, emotionally available, and kind of all these things. But getting in touch with like a less toxic version of masculinity, all of these sort of very important things for young men to figure out at some point. But the bottom line is I wasn't super well liked for a long time, and I started to be more liked not because I was like all of a sudden super cool and nice, but because we were very good at debate at a certain point. And then eventually I figured out how to be nice. And the reason that I bring this up to you, and the reason I think it's relevant for you and not just like, let's hear story time from Uncle Paul, is it matters that people like you and don't think you're an asshole in debate. Am I saying assholes are unable to win the national championship? Absolutely not. Sure, it's happened a few times. I can think of a few off the top of my head. But the bottom line is, the question you have to ask yourself is, how persuasive could you be if every person who judged every round of yours hated you and just thought you were a scumbag and thought you were a bad person? And in every close debate, they didn't give you the benefit of the doubt. And like, forget about judging, because maybe you just don't think judge intervention is real, and you don't think judges bring their opinions of debaters into the room with them because you're like 17 or something and don't understand that that's just how that works. The biggest, arguably, some of the biggest differences in my debate game didn't even come from my debate coaches. It came from having a bunch of people in the community who were friends, whether they were competitors or they were coaches, who liked me or respected me enough that when I would reach out to them, they would answer questions. And, they'd provide me with resources like, hey, I need a file on this, or hey, can we talk about this? Can you give me feedback on this? I've told the story about sort of preparing for Berkeley in my senior year and all of the various coaches that helped me out with that. I was incredibly lucky to have, Zach Schneider help me out. I was incredibly lucky to have Allison Escalante help me out. Just a bunch of people who were really cool, but those two always stand out to me for how much they did for me in Dallas. But ignoring that, like moving on to when I'm a coach now, so I'm a GA, and at this point I've really made that big turnaround. I'm a much kinder person and whatnot. And, I'm starting to form relationships with people at Oregon, and I end up being pretty close with Alex and Gabe from Oregon. And like, as part of that, we're able to sort of establish this relationship between Alex and Gabe and like helping out and doing some debates with Tristan and Brenna. And then obviously, ultimately, Alex ends up becoming like their prep coach, right? And like, they win 4 national championships and all this sort of stuff. And like, would Alex Lee have been prepping them if we hadn't been friends, because when I first met him, I was an asshole or something as a judge or whatever? And I think, maybe, but it seems less likely. And the bottom line is that if people like you at the level of a student, graduate assistant, a coach, or whatever, they're just more likely to give you the benefit of the doubt, to be willing to help you. And this is a very sort of, we're a debate community, right? Like, it's very much a small, close-knit group of people. And there's this wealth of knowledge out there that you will not access because you think it's more important that you like flex on people or be a jerk or have this like, fragility in your ego, or this sort of like fragility to your masculinity or whatever it might be that's holding you back. And I'm telling you, it's better to fix that problem when you're 15, 16, 17, 18, whatever, than when you're like 23, like I was. And I think that if there's one thing that will uniquely benefit you beyond debate that I could teach you, it is this, right? It is, being polite, having good manners, trying to be well liked, engaging with people, genuinely listening to them and caring about the things that they have to say. I would say almost overwhelmingly the biggest thing I learned in debate was just how to be a better person and how to care more about other people and be more empathetic or more sympathetic and be more informed on issues and so on and so forth. And that doesn't just impact me when I'm working with students. That impacts me when I'm talking to a waitress at a restaurant, or when I'm talking to a banker at the bank, or whatever it might be. This is like the hardest soft skill that exists. So if you just care about winning ballots, yes, this will win you ballots. But if you understand that debate is a vehicle for your personal development and for your betterment, then what's stopping you? Like, in the same way you would put time into doing spreading drills or to doing preps or whatever, if you know a hole in your game is that people don't like you, so you're never given the benefit of the doubt, why aren't you treating that as an area where you can gain an advantage? If you know that that's going to be the thing that's more likely to help you in the context of getting into a college, because you become a better networker and you have better relationships and people want to mentor you, not just because you're good at debate, but because you're a nice person to have around. Right? I can just tell you straight up, like, obviously I only have to work a certain amount of time for my job. Like, they don't force me to coach people for all these extra hours. I do it because I like the students, and the students who I've had the best relationships with are in reality the students who I end up spending the most time with, because I'm more willing to give that extra time to them in situations where they've sort of demonstrated, like, this is a weird way of putting it, but like, they're worth it or whatever, right? And so the bottom line is, maybe this doesn't apply to even the vast majority of you, but if there's just some kid out there who knows they're an asshole and who's like proud of it or whatever, that's a stupid, immature, and arrogant thing, and you should work on that. And yes, it's going to help you in debate, but it's going to help you a lot in life. And, I think that that's a big deal. Anyway, happy 6th birthday to Proteus Academy. I'll catch you folks later.